season, and Annette and Maria are back to talk shit about it. Let's give you a little bit of an overview of what we do here. So we are talking all things Nevada politics because there's a lot going on in our world here in Nevada. Both of us work in politics. We've worked in politics for a long time. And then we go into the globe. So, what's happening across the United States, and then what's happening around the world, especially with Maria's job being international politics. She shares a lot of insights about how the world sees us, and it's not good. So, first up,
No.
we have the rundown. Maria, hit me with some comments.
Oh my God, Annette. I opened up the comments for the first time before we logged on, and woo, did y'all apparently the first time, the second time asking about data centers didn't work, but the third time worked. And Joe Lombardo. So
Good
that's the
job,
theme for
everyone.
tonight. Lots of thoughts on Joe Lombardo and data centers. At firemain_5 on YouTube, when we asked about should we ban data centers or regulate them, says, I think we should let the free market decide. Whenever government gets involved, they just mess things up. No one knows if AI will even be profitable, so why regulate now? Data centers will make electricity prices go up, which is a signal to the market. Hey, you can profit with this, which will create industries competing to enter that market, making the price go down for everyone and making it cheaper than ever before.
That was a take
Interesting
I
take.
didn't expect. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I saw lots of text and immediately thought it would be like that bot that forever ago talked about how there's no toxic anything underneath the Tesla tunnels. But that was actually well thought out. Thank you, Fire
Thank you.
Main. That's why legitimately a lot of people don't want to regulate them, because if you regulate them now, they're not going to be able to develop, and we might not be able to make this cheaper, and we really don't know what we're doing with this. So that's totally fair. Uh, then now we go into the social medias. um, okay, so we have quite a few folks that responded to that on TikTok. This guy, literally, that's his name, at this guy. You're using a data center to complain about data centers, and three of these emojis. I mean, fair, but it is hard to stream with like no internet. This guy, it's kind of hard to do that. Um, and we're bringing up legitimate issues about data centers, which is different than complaining, because
Correct.
we weren't just complaining. We were saying what people are finding out are not good things about data centers.
Well, and the other part of
So,
it too is as you're navigating a new issue or a new topic, people are going to learn different things. They're going to be worried about different things. This is a brand new issue that a lot of folks are being exposed to. So hence why we asked the question. It's not a complaint. We want to know how people feel about it, and there's lots of differing opinions out there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. At Jonathan Ruggiero says on Instagram, I'm obviously no fan of them, but I'm open to rigorous regulations as well. Once we ever get through the MAGA era, AI is going to have to be regulated just as rigorously, which is true. It,
Yeah.
it will have to at some point. Um, yeah, it's what sucks though is that when you talk about AI, there was so much progress that the uh, Obama and Biden administrations had made on actually looking into AI responsibly. Meanwhile, Trump just has taken off the guardrails. So not only will we have to regulate them once, if we survive the MAGA era, that's a big if. That's not guaranteed. Um, so we'll see. Lorenzita Santos, um, in one of the
I knew
I'm Joe
I knew one
Lombardo.
of our friends was going to chime in here. I knew it. I felt it in my bones.
She dropped into one of the clips and just said, "I'm Joe Lombardo." Nice to meet you, Joe Lombardo. Laura Zita Santos. Hello. Nice to meet you.
So funny.
Um,
Yeah, and that's an important topic too, right? Because now data centers has entered the chat on the governor's race. So you've got Aaron Ford in the past week saying, hey, we're going to take some tax breaks away and we've got to revisit the way we're doing things on data centers. And then you've got Joe Lombardo doubling down saying he loves billionaires and he loves data centers because they're funding his whole ass campaign. So here we are.
Quite literally. And then when we had a clip up, and all of a sudden y'all went in on it on Joe Lombardo not being a friend to labor, which is a fact. Let's see. There's a lot.
By what we said there.
Vegas Voices says more of these, please. Definitely. We will do
Don't
more
worry.
of that.
We're back. We had to take a little break, but we're here now.
Annette, you ready for Paul in Vegas?
Oh, Paul.
I don't think it's Paul Muradkin, our friend, but another Paul on TikTok says, you are so full of shit. You have no idea what you're talking about. Cool. If we get a Democratic governor, we will have a state income tax. They will destroy the state of Nevada, just like they've destroyed the state of Washington and Virginia and California and Illinois and New York. Jesus, no commas. Democrats are the enemy of the people. They are anti-American, anti-free speech, and not good for Nevada.
Anti-free speech. Yeah, we're the ones searching people's phones when they come back in the country right now. You're right.
Literally.
Friend, I suggest you take to the data centers and Google the things you just said. That's all I'm going to say to you. Sure, bro.
Oh my God. Let's see. Maxi, I'm Eddie Patrick says, the members of the PUCN that Lombardo appointed keep letting NV Energy charge us how much they want, and Joe Lombardo is too bought out by corporate overlords to do anything about it. I've called his office and can't seem to get anyone.
So, little thing I've been working on since we were on break, because no, we didn't take any breaks. We were still working. We just took a break. Not only is he doing that with the PUCN, he's doing that with the pharmacy board too, friends. There was an article that our friend Steve Sebelius put out while we were on break, working with one of my clients, the Retail Association, because they are trying to put quotas on your prescription drugs, friends, so that there's only 250 prescriptions that can be put out a day by a pharmacist. So say you go in, you have 10 prescriptions, right? I have 10 prescriptions. We've already taken up 20 of those scripts. If you get to the end of that pharmacist shift and they've filled all their prescriptions, they can't fill any more for the day. Lombardo, because he's in bed with the folks who are on the pharmacy board, Lombardo literally is the one quietly pushing this behind the scenes. So he has been doing this with all of these boards and commissions. Yet he's over here like, oh, I've cut regulations. I've been so good. No, you haven't. No, bro. No, you haven't.
No.
With his commercial where he says, I've cut 900 regulations for businesses. It's not cited anywhere, Joe Lombardo. So where did you make those cuts? Because I'm still questioning that.
Yeah.
And to the point of this viewer who so eloquently commented about Joe Lombardo being in their pockets, yes. Yes, sir.
Literally, yes. Like the PUCN, which for people that might not be from Nevada, or if you're from Nevada and you're like, what the fuck is that? Public Utility Commission of Nevada, are supposed to be the regulatory body that oversees the power company. They don't oversee. They just sign off on whatever they do. Yeah. Boy. And
I don't know if you caught this, but a few weeks ago, speaking of that, for folks at home, this is like the wonky shit that I watch. So I'm on, social media at all hours of the day because that's a lot of my job. At one point, the lobbyists, the paid lobbyists on the staff of NV Energy is out there bashing Aaron Ford for coming after them for what they did at the PUCN. And then is like pro Lombardo shit. I'm like, since when does NV Energy endorse? Like, since when is that like typical behavior for a contract lobbyist? Or for a paid lobbyist? Contract lobbyist, we can say whatever the fuck we want to say. Paid lobbyist? It's a very interesting scenario that's going on over there right now.
Fascinating. Almost like y'all are in his pocket and there he is in yours. Peas in a pod. Peas in a pod. Well, that's the comments y'all left us.
Well, we missed you, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, we missed y'all. I'm glad we're back.
So before we go to our next regular segment, the local lowdown, I feel like we have to highlight the new segment we created right before we left on break for summer, which is Death Watch 2026. And
oh my God.
During the previous Death Watch 2026 segment, we had just lost Senator Lindsey Graham. We were watching to see if Mitch McConnell was going to die or not. Since then, apparently he left the hospital, but nobody can find him. But since, this is, August 26th when this is coming out, in the last 24 hours, we have lost our patron saint, Dolly Parton. And we have lost Tim Curry. Ugh. I am devastated. I've had a rough 24 hours. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Death Watch 20. And then you had Hayden how do you say her last name? Panettiere?
Panettiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
With the accent. You're better than me. Anyway, we've lost a lot in the past few days.
Yeah.
It's been really tragic. Especially Dolly.
Yeah.
Like, all of them are lovely people, but Dolly Parton, come on, Grim Reaper. Really?
You're getting the wrong people, my guy. You got close with Lindsey Graham. You got close. But then you just took a wrong turn and kept going. Grim Reaper. Oh man. Well,
anyways,
RIP to all of them.
2026 is not looking good for people who we like and enjoy. But yeah, Mitch McConnell's still alive apparently, so here we are. Death Watch 2026.
Yeah. Thanks universe for keeping being terrible. Well, yeah, we should make it permanent. Death Watch 2026. Who's dead this week?
Jesus Christ. All right, let's go into RIP Dolly and Tim Hayden.
Yeah, RIP. Oh. Yeah, shit.
All right, local lowdown. So
speaking of dying, the Colorado River. I had to.
I mean, you're not wrong. not wrong. All right, so Nevada sues the feds over the Colorado River cuts. I mean, we should, because it's bullshit. Nevada is one of the states that saves the most water all along the Colorado River. We have some of the best reclamation plans and conservation plans and things like that. It is one of the things Nevada actually does well. And has been doing well because we knew this was coming. We knew this day was coming. For those who are new to this, very brief history. Nevada has never done our water rights correctly. They were negotiated incorrectly when we became a state. They have continued to be incorrectly negotiated. Arizona, California, Utah, others get more acres per foot than we do. There's so many things we could have done differently, but what the feds came back with was a plan that is devastating for Nevada. And Nevada's like, no, we're suing the federal government. This is nonsense. We should not be beholden to this. So this is an article from the Nevada Current. It starts off by saying Nevada officials have filed the first lawsuit, so we were number one, challenging the Trump administration's Colorado River plan, a plan that would require Nevada to cut water use by about 17% over the next 2 years and authorizes even larger cuts during dry years, which we know not every year is going to be a El Nino year. So we know that's going to be absolutely devastating for Nevadans. The lawsuit filed Monday comes 3 days after the Trump administration released its 10-year plan for managing the Colorado River, the nation's largest reservoirs like Powell and Lake Mead, amid an ongoing drought and record low water storage. Under the plan, Nevada will have to give up 50,000 acre feet of its Colorado River allocation. Again, I just said we didn't have enough to begin with, so remember that. Of its acre feet is equal to 325,000 gallons. The amount of water needed to cover an acre of land a foot deep, or enough water to supply 2 or to 3 households for a year. So 50,000 acre feet is a lot of water. Additionally, Arizona will be required to reduce its water by 768,000 acre feet, while California will have to cut about 440,000 acre feet under the plan. Now, here's why it's bullshit that California doesn't have to cut as much. They have a whole imperial district, that's what the area is called, where they do farming and agriculture, where they have disproportionately gotten more water than the other states along the Colorado River for years. And so they should be having to make more cuts because they haven't. And Arizona hasn't been doing any of the conservation that we have. And so they should have to reduce more because they haven't done what we've done. But part of the problem here is we didn't have enough acre feet to begin with. So doing those cuts and making us reduce even more is garbage, and it's unfair. So, as Mark Twain said, water is for fighting and whiskey is for drinking, and we will continue to fight over water as we move along. I am interested in this, though. It is interesting to see Joe Lombardo stand up to Daddy Trump and say challenging the federal plan was a, quote, matter of survival for Southern Nevada, which represents about 2/3 of our state citizens and the lion's share of its economy. I was like, wow, you actually stood up to Daddy Trump. What happened to us feeling the pain down here, Joe?
Yeah, that we had to feel the pain. Man, sounds like someone wants to get reelected.
I do like the dude from Southern Nevada Water Authority, the general manager. He called the additional reduction proposed by the Department of Interior entirely unrealistic.
Entirely unrealistic.
I'm shocked that the Trump administration would come up with something that's entirely unrealistic. Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We are so screwed.
We haven't even gotten to the what the fuck's going on around the world segment yet.
First story, and Death Watch is just gonna take us all out.
Christ. All right, next up, and this is today's news. This just actually was published.
Yeah.
Nevada, thanks to AG Aaron Ford, wins $184 million settlement with Meta, which will adopt new anti-screen time rules for kids. Maria, talk to us more about this.
Yeah, so the amount that Nevada is getting, because we get money from Mark Zuckerberg, is $184 million. And we're forcing, this ruling is going to force them to adopt that screen time rules. Now, yes, Meta, as in the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. And this comes from a lawsuit on proving that kids, literal children, are addicted thanks to the algorithm and the total engineering by Meta on their platforms. And this is part of a much larger, you'll probably see this in the news, $17 billion settlement. So thank you, Attorney General Ford, for including Nevada in this, because all of the states that were part of this were arguing that we have to take care of our kids. And the deal requires Meta to enact a wide array of restrictions on the Facebook and Instagram accounts of users younger than 18. So teens will not be able to use the apps for more than 2 hours daily at night or during school. So 2-hour cap, also not at night or during school time. And they will be receiving pop-up notifications when they have been scrolling, doing that doom scrolling for 15 minutes straight. Honestly, that is fucking awesome.
All of us
we should all have that. Like, it should be a human rule for every single one of us.
Especially at night, right? Or in first thing in the morning, I'll wake up and check the news, see who's died for the day. And then I catch myself, going down the rabbit hole of scrolling, of the doom scrolling. And so honestly, those reminders are not, I'm not saying kick an adult off, but what I'm saying is that reminder of how much time you're spending / wasting on Meta and other social media platforms, because this is not just a Meta problem. It would be nice to, get those reminders and be told, hey, you're doom scrolling again.
Hey, loser, get off the phone. Go do something with your life.
Go be productive. Go watch Bravo in
it. Amazing that going to watch TV is better than this. Back when we were young, watching TV was
it was the video game.
No, go outside.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that they will be able to do for teens, and this is something that I think you'll remember this, and that you were, especially back when Facebook was a thing for university students, you had to have a college email address. You could choose between seeing things chronologically or with this new thing called the algorithm based on your likes. Remember that, where you could switch back and forth? Now, Meta will revive that for teens. They will give them the option to have their feeds display content chronologically as opposed to algorithmically, which has been proven in this case to make it much worse, make those addictive qualities much worse. Wow. And it will also limit their ability to use makeup filters. So literally all the shit that people have been arguing, they're going to have to do, because it is addictive. And it's been a terrible case because lots of parents ended up coming out talking about how bad it's gotten for their kids, how the usual shit you go through as a teenager, especially young girls, but boys too. It's becoming much, much worse and uncontrollable because of this little thing that you can carry around with you.
It is interesting, working in politics and being online as much as I am, and a lot of my business being on social media platforms and on Meta. It is interesting to see kind of how it's creeping in more and more to our everyday lives every day. And it's been creeping in, right? But just the amount that we use it in politics, and the amount of money that campaigns spend on social media, it's insane. I didn't even realize it until I got into it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, good. Absolutely. Good job, AG Ford, delivering for Nevada once again.
Look at that. Look at
that cash money.
Getting that cash money. That should be an ad. Getting that cash money for Nevada.
That's right.
From Mark Zuckerberg. And one question, Annette. What happens with that kind of money? Because you've worked in the legislature since you were born, basically. Does when this kind of stuff happens, what happens with that kind of money? Do legislators take a look and go?
Example of a settlement money that went to something super important that benefited both of us and has benefited many a Nevadan is the Millennium Scholarship. So when the tobacco settlement happened in the late 90s, early 2000s, that is what the legislature and Governor Kenny Gwynn at the time used to set up the Millennium Scholarship that allowed many of us to get money to go to a Nevada university if we had a certain GPA and essentially go there for free at the beginning because the pot of money was so big. Yes, there were some, incidentals and things that you would have to pay for, books, stuff like that. Some of the classes weren't totally covered, but I came out of college and my husband came out of college, and I think it's safe to say you came out of college without debt thanks to the Millennium Scholarship, because that is what helped us go to UNLV and get our degrees.
Yeah,
Look at us
no,
now. We're
absolutely.
thriving. So yeah, that money is going to go into coffers that will specifically probably be set up to deal with these types of issues or target young people to make sure that there are, funds set up for them, things like that. So that money will be put to good use.
Yeah.
And there will finally be some accountability for Meta. Imagine that.
Woo. Like that is, and I think that's something we can all agree on, like no matter who you are out there. Yeah, who knows? Unless you're a bot. Unless you're a Mark Zuckerberg bot.
I mean, who likes Mark Zuckerberg? He was out there.
No, nobody
does.
See
him out there on that platform fighting that UFC asshole and like pushing each other into the lake. It was the weirdest shit. But what's weirder about it now is, I don't know if you've driven over here on the 215 lately. You know, the UFC complex that's over here, like on like
oh yeah
215.
Yeah.
You want to know what's on the side of the building now? Meta.
Oh god.
It's like the Meta Apex whatever. I was driving past the other day. I was like, UFC and Meta together?
That's so fucking lame. That is so fucking lame. Like nobody, like if for all of the young kids out there or people that didn't like watch The Network, the movie about how Meta was made and what he was like in college. Like this is all a farce. He's not in, he's just going along whatever the fuck they want him to do.
I literally think he is AI. Like as a human being, he is like the embodiment of AI.
Yeah, seriously, I think he is. God, he's such a piece of shit. He's so
fucking Dana White.
Oh my god.
Yeah. God.
Seriously.
All right. So apparently the congressional candidates have thoughts on data centers, because when we solicited our viewers, we were soliciting the universe apparently.
Everybody.
Oh god. So what do the candidates have to say, Maria? What are their thoughts, opinions, concerns?
So the first one, and this is, we'll put the link in the notes, but you can find this in the Nevada Independent. It's titled, What Do Nevada's Congressional Candidates Think About Data Centers? And it's a whole article, so you have to do that thing called reading, but we'll break it down for you.
Very, very well done.
Yeah, and you get to see their actual responses. We'll start, we'll go down numerically. Congressional District 1, Congresswoman Dina Titus, and challenger Carrie Buck. So they break it down. Everyone got to, it's like a voter guide on data centers if you look at it. Like everyone got like a question. The topic was federal government roles on data centers, so literally up their alley. Representative Titus says local governments should have the say in data center approval and requirements, which is interesting because they know more about like what is the infrastructure and what's happening. They're capable of. Yeah, and also Congress has a lot of fucking shit to do that they don't get to. So yeah. Carrie Buck, on the other hand,
happening in Dina's district, like as we speak, right? The shit that just happened in Boulder City, where they like moved it up the street to federal land. That happened in Dina's district.
Exactly. Yeah. Fed should make it easier. This is Buck, the Republican challenger.
Well,
Fed
by the
should make it
way,
easier.
Carrie Buck, hold on one second. Just a note for our viewers who don't know Carrie Buck. Carrie Buck is the Republican state senator, who has never passed a bill the entire time she's been in the Nevada State Senate. So we're talking to somebody who is uber successful here.
Uber successful.
Yeah. I Carrie Buck with all kinds of issues.
Oh boy. She said Fed should make it easier to build infrastructure for America to lead in AI, but they need to ensure Nevadans do not pay the cost of that growth.
So she wants to have it both ways.
Yeah. Federal legislation. The other next topic.
One second. Here you go. Carrie, why don't you tell me the specifics on how you would do that? Go ahead. Tell me break it down for me. What do you mean by that? I bet you can't.
Crickets. Crickets would be the answer that you get. Crickets. Then the next topic that they asked was federal legislation to regulate energy and water rules for data centers. Titus, water and environmental concerns should largely be handled at the local level, but if it involves nuclear energy, something she really knows about, the federal government should play a larger role. That's actually being smart about it, because nuclear energy is something you don't want to mess with. And Dina Titus is literally like the queen of nuclear.
Literally wrote a book on it.
Literally.
Bombs in the Backyard. For those of you who don't know, Bombs in the Backyard. Literally. Read it. It's actually fabulous. I met my husband in her nuclear politics class at UNLV.
Yeah, actually taught the subject. Whereas Carrie Buck says is against mandates that dictate water and energy uses. Of course she is. And says Congress should focus on expanding energy production. Oh boy. Then our folks from Congressional District 2, Annette, and that for the people that don't know who currently is in that office, that's Mark Amodei, but he's like, I'm out of this. I don't like this anymore. And so now it's an open seat open campaign between Teresa Benitez Thompson, who's from the district, has served the district in multiple ways, and what's his name in that? David Flippin' Flippo, Flip-Flopper. Not
even from here, Flippo. Carpetbagger Flippo. Political tourist Flippo. Yeah, that one.
TBT, for short, Teresa Benitez Thompson, on federal government roles on data centers, says Feds should not create any laws that prevent Nevada from making laws or regulations on this. That's really interesting. That's a really interesting take that, kind of leaves it to the local authorities, especially the state. David Filippo, Fed should play a limited role, but if there is a role, it should be to protect national security. No, protect national security, not the people who live there, not the water, not the area that's getting hotter. National security. And then Congressional District 3, that's Susie Lee is the current representative, versus Marty O'Donnell, the Republican.
He plays the
Lee said Fed should ensure that companies pay for their grid infrastructure and look into disclosure requirements on areas such as water use, versus O'Donnell, who said Fed should handle AI regulation to decrease China's influence, but local governments and their citizens should decide about specific projects. That was interesting. Had to throw a China in there, of course. And then Congressional District 4, that's the gigantic district that Horsford is currently the representative on, and he's against Cody Whipple, the Republican. Horsford says Fed should create standard safeguards and processes that help local communities make the decisions on data centers. Corporations must also bear the cost, and communities need a share of the benefits. And Whipple thinks Fed should work with state and local governments to protect national security. It's like he and Flippo talked or something. And facilitate the use of land that directly benefits local communities. We know it doesn't, Whipple. We know it doesn't.
Also, they'd sell our public lands in a heartbeat. We know that they would.
Like that. Also wants to ensure data center servers are located in the U.S. So that's where all of those people wanting your votes are on data centers.
And there's a whole bunch more information in here. Well, this article is very, very dense. So highly, highly encourage you to read it, absorb it, understand their stances, because there's a lot of information on their stances and where they are and the different nuanced pieces of this. This is just kind of a high level overview of this article, but none of that surprises me. I don't think that either side, and I think it's why we posed the question as we were leaving on summer break, right? I think there is still a lot to learn about data centers. I don't think they have been fully thought out. And I think there's still these elected officials, these candidates are still forming decisions and thoughts and stances on these issues. And so I think this is going to be a very, very hot topic in the coming legislative session and in the coming, congressional Congress. What's the word I'm looking for? Sessions of Congress. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whew.
Jesus.
Took me a minute. Jesus. Anyway, it's going to be a hot topic because we're still trying to figure this stuff out. And it's interesting too, right? Like, I've been thinking a lot about this because it has been in the news so much. People have been talking about it so much. We have Switch right up the street from our house. It's a couple miles away. Nobody said a word when it moved in because really nobody knew what it was, right? I remember when and I was like, what the fuck is this? Whatever, it's got a big wall. There's nobody going in and out of it. I don't know what that means, right? And it wasn't until later, once it was fully built and you started realizing like where the internet was going, where AI was going, as to what it is now, right? And I think people are starting to have a better understanding. One thing I will caution people, though, and I think you saw this article too, Maria, because I think we were talking about it. I think data centers, especially during this election cycle, potentially could become one of those topics where a lot of mis and disinformation is being disseminated amongst all parties. And by parties, I mean political parties here. Because I think Russia and I think China see an opportunity because Nevadans and Americans are so hyped on this issue right now that this is going to be one of those polarizing issues that could potentially divide people. And that's the type of issues that those countries are looking for in American politics to further divide Americans. And so I caution you on where you get your sources of information on this and where you are looking and finding data and research on this topic, because you need to make sure your sources are right and you need to make sure they are legitimate sources, because I think we are going to see more and more mis and disinformation entering this conversation. And that is not a right problem. The left has that problem too. And so that's my caution to everybody is as you're learning more about this, also be skeptical of where you're getting your information.
Yeah, especially and you see it a lot with, you can see that when the narrative or whatever you hear or see, when it is very one way or the other, like my way or the highway, whether it's the right or the left, pro or con. And this is why we said we weren't complaining about it, data centers, because it's like when the internet happened and many other things that have happened, you get extremes because of the interests that they have, and they're just going to flood the zone in their own way so that one of them wins out. Whereas if there's people that are trying to find something in the middle something that works for everyone, that has an opinion on this, that has interest on this. But now, with all of this overload of information and lack of media literacy of people that are willing or wanting to go, okay, let me actually check this out and then let me actually see what this is about. Um, because of social media, because of all these things, we are less likely to have an actual conversation around this. And that's what those countries and corporations and just all of the people that have vested interests and people that want to push their narratives, and we know what it's like to want to push a narrative, they're going to flood the zone, and they're going to flood your zone. And so more reason for you to, like we have mentioned, especially when it comes to the talk of data centers, when there's a legislative hearing or when there's a hearing of your local council, etc., go to one, watch one on YouTube, read whatever they're thinking about. All of that stuff is public information. Like, go beyond the news and go directly to the source and read it, think about it, give public comment, like actually involve yourself in the issue. And that's how you'll come to find out what the actual conversation and decisions that need to be made and the actual issues are.
Okay, before we move to what the fuck is happening in the world, there's one more pivotal issue we have to cover. The city of Reno was on fire this past weekend.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah. A couple
Dolly Parton dying made me forget about
that. Yeah, right? Like, you forgot that there was a huge tragedy for a bunch of our friends in Reno. So Reno, the Hawk Fire over the weekend started on a mountain, came down towards, the populated areas on the outskirts of Reno. A couple of our friends were evacuated. One of our friends, Rebecca, who's been on the show before, the fire got within a mile of her house. When she left, she sent me pictures. You could see the fire just like burning down. Obviously, it's been devastating for people in Reno. It's put a lot of folks out. They've had to, get hotel rooms and stuff. This all happens while Burning Man is getting ready to start. So the resources were already somewhat limited because people were starting to fly in for Burning Man, pick up supplies for Burning Man. Slowly but surely, some of those areas have started to open back up. People have been able to start going home. Power is starting to be restored slowly. But the fire is still very much burning, and it is really, really hurting folks. And so there's a lot of donation links online that you can find. One of the folks that I always love to support up in Northern Nevada is the Northern Nevada Food Bank. I know they're doing a ton of stuff up there. But there's been lots of local businesses and other things offering free supplies and free food and water to folks who have been displaced. So we'll put some links in our chat if you guys want to make donations or help folks, because obviously we want to help all of our friends in the state of Nevada, especially our folks up in Reno. And so it's just been kind of devastating just to watch what's been going on. And obviously this was the second fire in the past month. There was another serious fire earlier in the month, not far from this area. And so a lot of these folks have been impacted twice now. So very scary. This fire season has been devastating for so many people across the country, but specifically also here in Nevada as well.
If you're in Reno, or if you have friends in Reno, sending all the, what do you like, especially with everything else going on in the world, like, man, it's like saying, hope you make it. It's
well, and this is terrible. Reno has a really interesting story, and it's by The Current, but This is Reno picked it up. And it's Nevada officials face reckoning as residents and tourists compete for lodging, cell service, and roads. And I think it is a conversation in a state like Nevada where we rely so heavily on tourism, and we rely so heavily on events like Burning Man, right? because they pay a lot in fees and live entertainment taxes and things like that. So they, that area, especially the small businesses, really rely on that foot traffic and people coming into town every year. But it's happening in the middle of fire season. And so it's competing for those resources. And how do we manage that as a state? I think that, especially with climate change, because yes, we believe in science on this podcast and we believe in climate change. I think that is a conversation we're going to have to start to have, is like, how do we manage tourism and our economy in the face of a water shortage, or in the face of fire, or in the face of other natural disasters that are being caused by the climate?
And will we dare to talk about infrastructure and needing money for said infrastructure?
What? Can't raise revenue. Why would we have adult conversations about revenue in this state? Come on.
All I heard was roads, and that led me to think, oh, don't we need money for those things?
Yeah, especially if you want firefighters and first responders to go and respond to those fires, yeah, you kind of have to pay for that stuff.
And how do you do that? Like, if you're a state, like, what's that thing called you got to do?
Typically, it's called taxes. Because you only get revenue by, like, bringing in that money. Yeah. Conversation. How does Nevada become a grown-up state? Well, friends,
actively denying it is how we'll do it, which is how we've been doing it the Nevada way.
It's not happening. It's not happening. Okay. No. Speaking of shit that's on fire, let's go to what the fuck is happening in the world.
The world is on fire. Will we be able to vote by mail?
A lot has happened in the world since we left. Now, I believe it because I was sitting here thinking about, oh my gosh, we're going to go on the podcast today. We got a lot to catch up on. It's been a crazy month. There's been a lot of things recalled in the past month, starting with what I so lovingly called ass lettuce, because at this point, that is what people ingested thanks to Taylor Farms, and they were getting explosive diarrhea because of the ass lettuce. And now subsequently, apparently, like, garlic powder's on the list, blueberries are gonna kill you. We've got jalapenos on the list. The better question is, what hasn't been on the list at this point? And all, because the Trump administration doesn't like regulations. They don't like food safety. It's like they told us what they were going to do in Project 2025, where they literally said food destabilization was part of the agenda in Project 2025. It was literally written down for us. And
and then when the orange fatso got in and started, like, eliminating this office at the FDA, eliminating that over there at the EPA, and all of a sudden we're surprised that ass lettuce.
And then we put brain worms in front of as the head of HHS.
And we're all like, oh my god, we're dying. And
what?
That stuff, water is going to be dangerous.
We're trying to eat ass lettuce.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It really is something. Because you're like, what is it gave me COVID-19 vibes, right? Of like, what do you mean? What do you mean the lettuce is tainted? And me and my friends, especially in the retail space, we were talking about it. There are recalls that happen all the time, right? Like, companies have recalls for safety concerns and things like that. That kind of stuff is normal. It happens in business. It happens in food manufacturing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is the level to which this is happening now, where every day something new gets added to the list, and the level of seriousness, because there are no food inspectors, there are no people inspecting food coming in. Now we've got random beef from Argentina that's apparently already been flagged for contamination because the Chinese didn't even want it. People are questioning whether or not the government's feeding us horse meat at this point, because the horse roundups were happening and the slaughters were happening, and now you don't know if you're eating ground beef or horse meat. And even Costco's like, yeah, we ain't selling none of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It is a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
so much has happened.
Make America great again.
No. Make America healthy
Maha.
again. Maha.
Healthy again. Maha.
Because horse meat is what's for dinner.
God, we're so fucked. Ew.
I have a candidate in Arkansas, and he was like, what? Tell me about these horse roundups. What is happening with the wild horses? I'm like, yes, that is a uniquely Nevada West Coast Western issue. But it might start impacting you in Arkansas, so you should probably learn about this.
Yep, get ready to eat some horse meat.
When we start to have crossover. Okay, so I don't know how you narrowed it to 3 items, but good on you, because 3 items to catch us up on WTF is going on in the world.
I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah, that's right. 100%. Yeah. Okay, so apparently we're starting with vote by mail. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it is speaking, vote by mail is one of those where you're like, where are we in the lawsuit inception of vote by mail? And by the time either you watch this or listen to this, or maybe in the next few minutes, this order, there might be another order. But today, a U.S. district judge in Boston agreed to lift an order prohibiting the United States Postal Service from carrying out Trump's order for November's elections, which is the order to like verify and be able, except essentially deputizing the U.S. Postal Service to deliver or not deliver your mail-in ballots, which is kind of illegal. But the judge lifted that prohibition thanks to what the Supreme Court announced yesterday, basically saying it might be a good idea to deputize the Postal Service because could be fraud. But a bunch of other states, mostly Democratic states, and with Democratic AGs, especially California, are going to keep challenging this. And so we're going to keep seeing, we're going to keep seeing lawsuit after lawsuit and appeal after appeal to be able to actually be able to vote in this election. Remember, Annette, when we were saying could be the last election? We're like really getting to that point.
Yeah. Every day I am thankful that Cisco Aguilar is our Secretary of State. Every day. Every day I am thankful that AG Ford is in place to continue to push back against the Trump administration not allowing us to vote. So here we are, everyone. Before we go to our next topic, just a quick question for you. I was wondering, did Trump win the war in Iran yet?
No.
Status.
No, and I don't think the Strait of Hormuz is the Trump Strait either. I don't think it's the 51st state either.
But Maria, I heard Trump say he was just gonna annex the Strait of Hormuz. It's gonna be American territory now. It's ours now. And we've won. And now today he's claiming that the U.S. sanctions will win the war over Iran as oil prices sink. Sure.
Nope. No. None of that has happened. Everything is the same. I was watching something, like someone talking about how like ships now, like ships have everyone's ignoring Donald Trump. And so ships, what they're doing is they're basically, because like we don't want the ships to pay in Chinese currency. Are the ships going through the Strait of Hormuz and paying Oman and Iran, the two countries that actually have a say-so in the Strait of Hormuz, and have said, fuck you, we're not going to use dollars anymore, we're going to use the Chinese currency? Are the ships saying, fuck you, Donald Trump, are going to do whatever they say? Yes. And what they're doing is so the U.S. doesn't know, that they're doing that, they're turning off their GPS as soon as they get to the Strait of Hormuz, and they're just doing whatever the fuck is happening.
That feels
So everybody's ignoring Donald Trump, basically, over there.
right. I mean, I ignore him every day, so why shouldn't the people over on?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's so fucking stupid, so fucking terrible. Yeah. Oh, and apparently related to this is apparently we don't have an army chief. Like, we don't have a boss of the army, a chief of staff of the army.
Yeah.
And we only have like 4 4-star generals or 5. And apparently, like, it's the lowest it's ever been. And so, like, our whole military is just
apparently we're stress testing our military by keeping them imprisoned on ships with no supplies and making them sail around the world to the point where they're wanting to jump off the sides.
Yeah. Did you see that? The USS Lincoln, it looked dirty.
Well, dirty. It's falling apart. Nick was telling me that there's things that are being held together by duct tape. I mean, it's basically, it embodies this country. It's being held together by duct tape and prayers at this point.
Oh my God.
You know, here's the thing. I am not a huge fan of, you know, war and that kind of stuff. But I mean, come on. That's how we're treating our military? Really? Like, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is totally inappropriate, out of line. And these Republicans are out here, you know, claiming to be, oh, we love our military, we support our troops. But every chance they get, they cut programs for our veterans. They're the ones cutting military funding for, you know, making sure that our ships are put together and that our military is taken care of. Like, no.
No. Good job, Pete Hegseth. And we thought him putting a reporter in a signal chat was the worst of it. It's just getting worse from here.
Did you see how, well, first of all of his cronies are starting to leave. They're starting to jump ship. No pun intended.
Literally.
Because they're all afraid that they're going to lose the midterms and that Dems are going to take over and start subpoenaing their asses to come in and charging them with things. We weren't even on the air when Dr. Fauci was brought in and questioned for nonsense. We've missed so much. It's impossible. It's impossible to catch up. It's just, there's so much, because every day is like a lifetime at this point.
Exactly. You want to have another COVID flashback?
Let's do it.
We're surging toilet paper prices because of the trade war with Canada. We're not going to have toilet paper, or it's going to be like $3,000 a roll.
Well, because all of the paper product trees come disproportionately from Canada. When Nick used to work at the paper company, that's where all the paper came from. That's where all the forests are.
That's right. Nick knows everything about toilet paper.
Yeah.
We should bring him on as an expert.
Resident expert on toilet paper, ocean spray, and Dr. Pepper.
Oh my God. So, man, we're going to have to, like, I don't know, stock up on toilet paper.
I do love this article, though, from The Guardian. Wiped out.
Wiped out.
U.S.
I hope.
Surging toilet paper prices. That's a great headline.
It's amazing. And for those that can't keep up with all of this, this is all thanks to Trump, because Trump is literally still fucking around with Canada, and Mark Carney was like, all right, we're going to match your tariffs dollar for dollar. And so there's a list of 900 goods that will face 25 to 50% tariffs starting a couple weeks from now, September 8th.
Listen, and you know Taco Tuesday is coming, because Trump is going to chicken the fuck out. This is not a real thing that he's going to do, because the Canadians mean business now. And they're the first ones to be like, nah, we're tired of your shit. We're sick of your shit. And the trade deals, the negotiations just broke down because Canadians are sick of our shit. And listen, I'm sick of our shit. So good on you, Canada. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Elbows up. Keep it up. Keep them up, Canada.
But this also means please don't go panic buy your ass wipe, because
Don't
the
do
rest of us all need it. And sure, maybe like keep a small like supply on hand, but please don't go panic buy.
Mm-hmm. It'll work.
It'll
itself
all work
out.
itself out. Taco Tuesday's coming.
Yeah. We keep panic buy when the apocalypse actually starts.
Or don't.
Or don't. We'll just use our hands. Whatever.
Before we get to the next story, there was also another story while we were on break that caught my attention. Did you see that? I think it was some general or someone in our military was basically like, yeah, if somebody sends drones here, the United States is fucked. And we are not prepared for any of that. I was like,
I did not see that.
Why
That's
are we
amazing.
reporting on this? Why are we saying this out loud?
Oh, that's cool to know. So literally, like, anyone could just swarm us with
Apparently.
drones, and
we're
we'd
in
be fucked.
deep shit if we do.
So good. So good.
All right. Well, take us home with Russia, because it's not a week of podcasting
Fuckery.
without having a Russia story.
So CIA chief went to Moscow. Politico and others say it's to warn Russia against attacks on NATO allies and helping Iran. Yours truly, personal opinion, is that they went to go meet with the boss, which is Vlad Putin. Get a status report on how we're doing. How is the destruction of America going without him having to do anything? Because they're all friends. Literally, like, if you out there haven't caught on to the fact that Donald Trump is Vladimir Putin's bitch, and so is everyone that works for him, including the CIA chief, then you should get informed, because that's what's actually happening. That's who actually runs us. And that's probably why the CIA chief actually went to Russia. But everybody's freaking out because usually the CIA chief doesn't go to Russia.
Yeah, no, the CIA usually is the one spying on Russia, not like befriending them.
Go, hey, what's up? Let's sit down and have coffee and talk. Oh my God.
One other thing that happened while we were on break is those letters from Trump's confidant, I guess we'll call her, Natalie, whatever her name is.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say confidant. That's me personally opinion, just because of all the rumors.
Yeah, so that was weird. There's just been a lot of like weird shit.
Yeah, I think we've gone to the past where we're like past fiction. Like, we're worse than fiction.
Yeah, and it's like, I just kind of glance at it because, like, I'm like, oh God, it's so much.
Mm-hmm.
So much.
It's almost too much.
And on the next episode, we're gonna obviously have to, upcoming episodes, we're gonna have to talk about Flock. We're gonna have to talk about those cameras and stuff. Apparently, the school district's using them. Did you not see that article?
I did not see that.
That is a whole conversation for next week.
Flock.
The Clark County School District, Flock. Everyone. Fantastic. Idiots. Oh, Christ. All right, everyone. Well, Maria, let's take it out, because there's a lot. Floodwaters in Nepal, earthquakes all over the globe. Been a lot the past month. So let's go out on a lighter note to bring us back for this election season that we're in, because we are in the thick of it now. What are your hot takes and headaches, Maria?
My hot take is I'm excited club football is back and we don't have to deal with fucking cooling breaks anymore.
What else were you happy about on break that happened in football? FIFA holding that douchebag accountable.
There's a revolution. UEFA, CONCACAF, all the regional football associations are rebelling against the mob boss and Trump's best friend, Gianni Infantino, the penis-looking motherfucker. Yeah, because he basically wants to sell off the World Cup to Jared Kushner and co. And everybody's like, the fuck you are.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we even have a World Cup. But yeah.
I was like, hey, look, accountability still exists somewhere. It's in soccer, apparently, but it exists somewhere. And Argentina got held accountable for their actions after the World Cup. Accountability apparently still exists in sports.
Yep, they got held accountable. And even the players that there were suspensions for the players that fucked around and found out towards the end after they lost. So yeah, football, the place where you go for accountability. Good job, football.
So my hot take is fuck Sophie Cunningham. Just to say that directly, fuck her. I find her to be a twat. And she is the one who has started this whole nonsense because she had some hot takes of her own about the trans community and people in women's sports, which is a talking point that the right loves to use to scare people and to vilify our trans community. So my hot take of the week is she can go fuck herself, and I hope she has a very short career in the WNBA. And to all those assholes who were standing in front of the games at the WNBA, who've probably never been to a WNBA game in their life, who could not name 5 WNBA players, who could not name A'ja Wilson correctly, go fuck yourselves.
Literally.
Did you see the woman?
Yeah, just shut.
There was a guy who's like a washed up NBA player who like showed up in an anti-trans woman nonsense shirt. And one of the women on the basketball team literally almost fucking fought him and he got thrown out of the game. That's the energy I need in 2026, friends.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, fuck Sophie Cunningham.
I'm so sick of her. So there's a weird connection here between my hobbies and my politics, right? Because Sophie Cunningham has a podcast with Wes Wilson. Wes Wilson is the dickbag from Summer House who cheated with Amanda from Summer House on Sierra. It's this weird thing that happens in my life where my politics cross over with my Bravo. And so, yeah, fuck Sophie Cunningham and fuck Wes Wilson, too, for the record.
Yeah, fuck all y'all. Maybe stick to... Didn't her team lose? Maybe she should shut the fuck up and play better.
What do they always tell us? You should just stick to,
stick to sports.
Yeah, just stick to basketball, huh? Just stick to basketball.
Yeah, especially if you're a loser.
I'm just so sick of these
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, and that's the idiot on our school board wore the anti-trans shirt because we're going to make it more hostile for trans kids to go to school now. That's the kind of energy we need. I'm so sick of these fucking troglodyte, transphobe weirdos. Anyways, a palate cleanser. Let's do one palate cleanser each. My palate cleanser is Ted Lasso is back, and my world is once again complete. And they're highlighting women's soccer and women's sports in a positive, wonderful light, and also showing the challenges of women's sports. And it's been lovely and refreshing, and I needed that in my life.
Hell yeah. It's on my TBW to be watched, especially next week that I have off.
Maybe make it a priority and go 1 through 4.
Yeah, I'm going to be on a plane.
Years to watch it.
I'm going to be on a plane, so I definitely have all the time in the world.
Maria, where are you going?
And
what are you doing?
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. I can tell y'all if there's water or not. Because that's what we need. One of the best places in the world to literally be dying off. But it's also a problem of the US because they're not helping out, and they could. And I agree with Bad Bunny. It's a way to try to get people to move out of the island and get Americans to move in so that they don't have to pay taxes. So
100%.
Fuck us. Anyway.
Gentrification.
Exactly. My palate cleanser is that I went to Michael's with my mom the other day. Yeah. And for the first time in a long time, we're going to do a cute little altar for the Day of the Dead. Nice. Because they had like a whole section of, they had like a whole decor for Halloween, but they had a whole like things for your altar. And I really, really loved that they did that. And like death is one of those weird subjects, but we always like, do a little remembrance, but we're actually going to do something much, much bigger. And we got lots of supplies, lots of cute little supplies. And along with crocheting, I'm going to be cross stitching. So palette cleansing.
You also went to Honduras while we were on break, right?
Yeah. I went to Honduras.
Yeah. That happened.
Yeah.
You went to Honduras? Which I had to buy a new air conditioner. It was eventful.
Oh my God.
It was eventful.
Yeah. Honduras is also a fucking palate cleanser. That place is amazing. I love it.
Anywhere in the world but here is. So anyways, well, it's so great to be back, everyone. We are so excited to have an exciting fall with you all to talk about all things Nevada politics, world politics, as we enter the midterm elections, which are coming in November. And then as we get ready for the Nevada legislative session, because in 4 months, I get to move back to Carson City.
Oh my God, 4 months.
Yeah. September, October, November, December. Yeah. January, I leave.
Wow.
Yeah. Time flies when you're miserable.
Will we have a government, Annette?
Nevada will. Mark Voloshin told me that we will.
That's good. As long as if we're the only government.
I believe. By the way, Mark works in the Secretary of State's office. If Mark believes, I believe. The federal government, unclear. Try for the best at this point.
Yeah, that's right. We'll just keep going. We'll keep doing our thing. All right. Well, thank you, Annette, and everyone. It's weird to be back.
I know. Next week we'll be live again. We're going to try this live thing every week. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. We're going to probably skip between Tuesday and Wednesdays depending on our schedules. So just bear with us as we get our footing. Yesterday I was feeling like crap, so that's why we're here today. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, tweet, whatever you do on the internet. Share it with your family, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies. And we will see you next week, everyone. Have a great week. It's great to be back.
We will see y'all next week.